Sorry, thanks for waiting. If I didn't do that, it would sound pretty bad. All right. I hope this works. All right. Seth, am I doing this right? Oh, there we go. There we go. Not bad.
Yes, sir.
That is the blues. Is that it? Yeah. All right. And I actually want to, I meant to do this before I started, but I wanted to just play that half step for you just so you can hear the blues now. So you've got, this is a blues, well, here, this is a minor pentatonic, right? So this is no blues note. Then you add the blues note. So this is that little half step. But in the key, it creates that blues sound. So yeah. All right, you can move on to the next slide. Ooh, I better keep this. Modal improvisation. So there are a lot of modes, but the 7 basic modes of music are, they're unusual sounding scales that, at the most basic explanation, are essentially in a key but have a different root note. So if you were to start on the 1, like any major scale, that's called an Ionian mode. If you're playing a C major scale, you could say, I'm playing a C Ionian mode if you want to sound really smart. But if you start on, say, the D, which is the second note of the C scale, and you keep in the key of D, in the key of C, then that's called a Dorian mode, a D Dorian. So it sounds like. Whereas a D major scale would sound like. And that's what we're used to hearing. But the Dorian is used a lot in jazz. It's actually used a lot in Celtic music, surprisingly. You'd be really surprised where some of these show up in music. But yeah, they're just very unusual intervals, very unusual notes for a scale to have, but they produce a really cool sound. So, me and Steve are gonna mess around with a D Dorian. Strange sound, but you can do this on any of these. If I started on the E and I played in the key of C, that'd be a Phrygian. If I'd started on, say, the B and I played in the key of C, that's a Locrian mode. And they all have different sounds to them. Like the Locrian mode sounds really dark and really airy. It's kind of strange, but commonly used ones probably the Mixolydian, the Dorian, starting on the 2nd and 5th, and yeah, they've got really cool applications. So techniques. I think one of my things when I kind of first started improvising was I got this pentatonic scale right, and it was so new to me and I just wanted to just, you know, kind of just play quick and play that way the whole time. But once you kind of refine your improvisation, you kind of do it more and more, you learn that if you're just playing straight eighth notes, you know, straight quick notes, same length, over and over and over again, that gets repetitive and that gets a little boring. So, I mean, I hope I've been doing this the whole time, but when I play, I try to, you know, you have to mix it up some. You get long sustained notes, then maybe you rip off, you know, a couple really quick phrases, and then you go back into it. You know, you just want to keep it varied. And that's called phrasing, the way you choose to play those long versus short notes and those runs of notes. Repetition, I try and do this a lot too. What makes songs so fun, especially what makes like pop so fun, is it's got a chorus, and you can come back to that chorus and you know, like, hey, like, you know, everyone knows it, and you can just jam out on that. But when you're doing improvisation, it's really easy, and you know, you're doing this. This has never been played before, so no one knows where to go with it. So when you have an audience and you're improvising, it can be really cool to just, you know, repeat a phrase a couple times and just build on that, and you know, maybe whoever's playing the chords will kind of switch it up a little bit, and you keep playing the same thing, and people start recognizing that, and then maybe come back to that later. And that is how you end up with a jazz song. So that's like the head. Articulation, if you're in band, you've heard this probably a million times. It's just how you play a note, you know, staccato, staccato, short. You play legato, which is like long and drawn out. Dynamics, are you loud or are you soft? Switch it up. Trading is kind of a cool thing to do. When you're improvising, it's like you just, kind of like me and Steve did when we did the blues. We took turns improvising, but what's cool in a lot of jazz music, when they get, you know, when you're really good, they start trading twos, or they start trading fours, or they even start trading fours and then trade twos and trade ones. So what that means is they take turns playing 4 measures and the other guy plays 4 measures. They take turns playing 2 measures and the other guy plays 2 measures. And then 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. It's so quick, the switches off between them, and they're building on each other's rhythms and melodies as they go. It's something really cool to listen to if you have some really high-end players. Quoting. So if you've got a song with a written head in it, or with a melody, or even melody doesn't even have to come from the song. Quoting is exactly what it sounds like. You play a familiar melody, or you play a little piece of the chorus just while you're improvising, and then you just move on. And it's kind of cool because, like, the repetition, it gives people something to kind of cling to and be like, oh, hey, I know that. This is still kind of interesting. Move on. So, practical application of this. If you play a chordal instrument like a guitar, you're probably not going to be improvising the whole time. You're probably not going to be soloing the whole time, because you can lay down these chords for everyone. So, like me and Steve did on the blues, you kind of have to be willing to trade back and forth, just because, you know, people don't want to play with like a selfish musician. And also, what can be kind of cool, and Steve does this a lot. I should have mentioned this earlier, but it's to switch up the way you play the chords. So, like, you know, don't just strum the same pattern all the time. You know, if you are just strumming really hard and then you go into kind of like a spacey picking technique, like Steve does a lot, you know, and the soloist can try to react to that, as I've kind of been trying to do. And you build off that, and, you know, in that way, playing chords is actually like almost just as fun as soloing, because you're controlling kind of where this improv is going to go. You have to find the key. It's easiest if y'all know what you're doing and you know what key you're in. It also helps to know guitar chords, because you're almost always playing with someone who's playing guitar. So if you know guitar chords, you can kind of look and see what's happening and find the key from that. Also, silent communication, visual cues, which is another thing Steve and I have been doing this whole time. Whenever you want to end the song, or, you know, someone wants to take a solo, you just kind of nod to them, or, you know, something in bluegrass or old time, you kind of do just like throw your leg out when you want to end. That's pretty common. And what time is it? Okay, you're good. I think we have time. So, y'all wanna? Cool. So we're gonna. This is kind of It's kind of cool to do this because I just threw this on. These guys, yeah, go get your instruments if you want. Seth, you can play mine if you want, or yours. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. All right. We're gonna play a song called Minor Swing, and we're gonna take turns soloing and kind of playing off each other. I didn't warn them about this before today. I actually never even talked to Seth about it, but I meant to. But it goes D minor, G minor, A, right? Yeah. And then what was that, A? So we're just gonna jump into this. Is a song called Minor Swing. I liked it a lot. I played it in my last presentation. It's got a head in it, and you'll kind of recognize that. We'll come back to it. We'll start out on that. And I'm just gonna kind of try to nod at you guys whenever you want to take solo. Just whoever I'm nodding at, go. Want solo? Alright. Okay. So, yeah. Can you give us a count?